We're just getting ready to head off from Seward, so we're filling up all our diesel containers.
And we've put our 100 litres in the flexible tank up the top, our shuttle pack tank. Always been amazing. Got ourselves a shrimp pot. So hopefully when we're in Prince William Sound, we'll put this down about 100 metres deep on a really long line, and then you put a tin of cat food in there, and then you stab the tin of cat food and all these good smells come out, and then all the prawns come in, and then you go and pull it up. It must take hours to pull it up, and it should be full of prawns.
There's a whole bunch of sea lions kind of sunbaking on the rock over there.
Had no luck trolling that new fancy fishing line behind the boat, so we're just going to try the old jig up and down off the bottom here. Got one! Good sized halibut. There's sea lions coming all around the dinghy. I'm just going to try and get some footage on the GoPro camera on the end of a pole. I'm so curious. No wonder that was heavier than expected to pull the anchor up. It was attached to another anchor. Ancient old anchor that's just all covered over in rocks and coral and weed. Got a spare anchor now. Got a solar dog up there. That's when you can see these cool rainbows above the sun and to the side of the sun. I think it's caused by refraction when you get the right kind of ice crystals in the atmosphere. We're coming up to a spot where I'm going to try the shrimp trap out for the first time. So this is a bait we're going to use. Cat food, we've been recommended.
It's about 8 o'clock at night. We've just anchored up here in Puffin Cove. It's a beautiful little place, very protected. But the sun's shining, it's actually quite warm, so I'm just trying to make the most of it and try and get a little bit of a tan for my wedding dress, really.
So we're anchored down in the head of Puffin Cove down there, and someone told us there was a nice hike around here somewhere, but we couldn't really find the trail. So we just bush bashed through all of this nettles and trees and moss and stuff up here to this rock. We saw a nice deer on the way. A big deer just stood there looking at us, and a hummingbird came and hummed right next to us, but we didn't manage to get the camera in time, but that was amazing. And this is overlooking Icy Bay. There's the glaciers that feed into there. You probably can't see it, but there's ice scattered all through there. And today, when we get back to the boat, we'll up anchor, go all the way around this whole headland thing, and then come into Icy Bay. Should be nice in there, but I don't know if you can see, there's so many mosquitoes here, it's horrendous. Shrimp pot, still where we left it. It's the first thing. Fingers crossed. See if we got any. Gonna check it from the dinghy rather than teleport in case we get the rope wrapped around the propeller. We're racing along Bainbridge Passage now into Prince William Sound. But we've got wind with us, we've got current or tide with us, and we're ripping along at about 7.6 knots at the moment. It's amazing.
We woke up this morning with a large thump. So we both got up to see what it was, and it was a bit of ice that had just kind of drifted into us. And we're actually now surrounded by ice that has been carving off the Tiger Glacier all night. So we're in a little spot. It's the best anchorage in the fjord. It's called Icy Bay, and there's just little bits of ice. It's not too much of a concern at all, really.
I got some. We got about 10 prawns and a whole bunch of little crabs. But as I was pulling it up, the prawns were already coming out through the hole, so they're a little bit small. Yeah, cook them up for lunch.
We're having one of my favourite boat meals tonight, paella. So I've collected some fresh beach greens from the low tide at beach. We've got Chris's prawns that he just caught this morning. We've got Arctic cod, which Chris caught as well, and some mussels that we both picked at the low tide shore. Should be delicious.
We've just come ashore in the dinghy in Icy Bay, and we're climbing up kind of like a waterfall, just this endless amount of boulders with water spilling all over it. We're trying to get up to the top of the mountain pass up here. But yeah, heaps of stuff on the way. Some hummingbirds have just been humming around here, and I got a photo enough to, I think, ID one. And there's heaps of mountain sorrel, good to chew. Yeah, really nice day. I think we're almost at the top. The mountain pass is just up there, and you can see teleport way down the bottom of the mountain down there. Finally made it to the top. What a view. So we can see Tiger Glacier over there, another glacier coming in. That's all of Icy Bay. Teleport's anchored down in there amongst all the ice. This is Whale Bay in there. And then further around into here you can even see Puffin Cove where we were anchored 2 nights ago and went for the kind of reverse walk all the way up to that rock to look out that way. And then back out down there, that's the whole of the Gulf, way out to Australia out that way. Look at that, this time we got more than 30 prawns and some of them are enormous. Look at the size of that. And almost no bycatch, or no bycatch. So that's great, we just tried a different location.
Chris did such a good job of catching so many prawns. Got a bit of a feast happening here in Teleport tonight.
Slowly trying to weave our way out of Icy Bay here, and it's pretty icy. It's almost lunchtime, so we thought we might just pull into this little bay in here where we know that the salmon are spawning. So we'll just go in there, catch ourselves a salmon, cook it up while we're at anchor. And what a catch! Too easy, first go. First cast. Spotted him swimming past. Got it. Lunchtime.
Yum, nothing better than freshly caught salmon.
This salmon had heaps of eggs, so we decided to make some caviar because it was so good last year. So all the eggs are basically kind of encased in 2 egg sacs, and it's pretty hard to separate the eggs out from inside that thing. But the trick is you put it into hot water, sort of pretty hot, just not too hot to burn your finger, but you kind of sluice it around in hot water for a while, and that releases the eggs from that little sack. You kind of massage them free. It looks a little bit messy at this stage, but you end up eventually with just these eggs and no membrane stuff left. But you see at this time the eggs still look pretty cloudy, that you can't really see through them. So then you prepare a super saturated brine solution. We just got a bit of seawater and then added as much salt as it would take, and then you strain the eggs out from the warm water and pour them into this cold salty water, trying not to lose too many. And then you'll notice initially they kind of float to begin with, and you let them soak in the salty goodness for about 15 minutes. And you'll see as this happens they gradually get so heavy with tastiness that they sink to the bottom. So then after your time's up, you strain them out and put them in another bowl, and then you pop the kettle on and make some hottish water. Again, not too hot, but pretty hot. And then you pour all that hot water over the eggs and let them soak. By now you start to notice that instead of being dull and cloudy, they start to clear up, and you can see through them, and they've got like a little oily nucleus kind of thing in them. Anyway, you strain them out after this, and you see they start to look all bright and fresh and fancy looking. And then you pour them into a fresh batch of cold, super saturated salty water, and you leave them there for another 10 to 15 minutes. You kind of leave it in there until, to taste really, till they taste salty enough to you. I found about 15 minutes. Then you strain them out of there, and you're done. Basically, just like from a gourmet deli, only way tastier and heaps cheaper. That's just from one salmon. Amazing. Look at that. Perfect.
Wow. We're gonna get some water from the waterfall.
When I flew the drone this morning to go and have a look at all the salmon in the mouth of the river just here, I kind of went up really high and did a bit of a 360 and noticed over there was a huge grassy area with all these little linked up little ponds with flowers growing in them, so you'd never know it was there. So we rode to the right spot in the shore and just fought our way up a cliff and through about 10-15 meters of trees, popped out into this beautiful kind of grassy area with all these ponds and animals, and it's great.
We've just found this amazing anchorage next to an island called Wink Island. It's just stunning. The sun's out, it's gorgeous. There's pink salmon have started to run up here, so it means all these bald eagles are kind of lined up along the shoreline trying to catch their best salmon, as are we. And you just got to keep on the lookout for black bears. There's a lot of long grass around, so we've got all our bear sprays and things, but always a little bit worried. but just an awesome place.
I emptied it out after dinner last night. This is all just last night's rain. So we've been in this little bay called Nelly's Rest for the last 2 days because it's been blowing 35 knots to more. Some of the reports are like 45 out there, but we're really protected in here and it's just been raining a lot. But we're getting bored and it doesn't look that bad out there. So we're thinking we're going to try and go out and, just for a change of scenery, go out and see what it's like and see if we can just get a little bit further on in our schedule. But we'll have to see. If it's really bad, we can just come back in. But it should be petering off by later today anyway. So it looks like it really is blowing 20 knots out here. But, yeah, bugger.
It's hard to believe that only like 24 hours ago it was 25 knots out here and quite choppy waves, but it's magic now.
Amazing the difference one day makes. So now we've picked up our shrimp pot, got another half a bucket of shrimps, and now we're heading out of here just through a little bit more ice. And then we'll see where we go this afternoon.